All right, you crazy cats. Time to work on solving radical equations here. Worksheet number 1. Let's get started in this section. Remember that a lot of times to get started, the first thing you just go to is think of it like a linear equation where you're trying to get x by itself. And just note the directions say solve the equation, but it also mentions, like we talked about in the lesson, check for extraneous solutions. You really need to do that for every one of these problems. If nothing else, just mentally even plug it back in. Even if you don't show a ton of work on it, that's okay. If you need to, that's still a good idea, but I'm just looking for you to make sure you are checking to make sure you're not getting extraneous solutions, okay? Just start example like number 1, right? First of all, I'm going to add 6 to both sides here, like I'm going to solve it like a linear. Again, if it helps too, even just kind of write it off to the side as if it was a linear equation. 3x minus 6 equals 0. What would you do in this equation? Well, you'd add 6 to both sides and divide by 3, right? Well, same thing with this one. I'm going to add 6 to both sides and divide by 3. I'm going to get rid of the 6's here. I'm going to divide both sides by 3. I'm just going to skip ahead again a little bit just because it's a helping video. I should get square root of x equals 2. And then again, what I'm really going to do is square both sides. And so I'm getting the answer of x equals 4. Okay, but I've got to check and make sure that that actually works in the problem. If I put 4 in, square root of 4 is 2. 2 times 3 gives me 6. And 6 minus 6 gives me 0. So yes, it checks out. That is a good solution. Again, that's why this squaring step still can work, because it can get us to an answer, but sometimes it gets us to an extraneous answer that really doesn't work in the original equation. That's why you got to check them in the original, okay? As I look through here, I'm just going to take a crazy wild hunch and look at number 4 with you, okay, and see if number 4 works out the same. We'll take a look. First thing I'm going to do is minus 5 from both sides of the equation. So now I'm going to get square root of 5x, or sorry, square root of 5x equals negative 5 on this side. Okay, I've gotten to the point now where I've got the square root by itself on this side. And so the next job for me is to square both sides. That's what I have to do. That's going to give me 5x, whatever I have in the square root, equals 25. I'm going to divide both sides by 5, and I'm going to get x equals to 5, okay? Okay, but here's that point now where I got to take 5, and I got to plug it back into the original equation to see if it works, to see if it's extraneous, okay? I'm going to write some of the work just off to the side over here. So when I do that, I plug 5 in for x. 5 times 5 gives me 25. And then adding 5 to that does that equal 0. Square root of 25 gives me 5. 5 plus 5 does not equal 0. It equals 10. So this right here, I'm going to cross it off, and I'm going to put extraneous solution. And really, I could put that this equation has no real solutions, okay? If you leave it like this is fine for me right now, but otherwise I'd say no real solutions. There's no number I can put in for x, times by 5, square root, add 5, and get 0 for the answer. So no real solutions for this case, or again, you can even put that you have 5 for the answer. I do like to see that you got 5, but that it was extraneous. Okay, all the other problems on this side are pretty straightforward like that. I mean, again, check for extraneouses to make sure you're actually getting a real solution. Always take a look at this number 9 as well and number 10. The only thing I'll just remind you about these is they actually, if you were going to try to square both sides right now, again, what would really happen, I think I mentioned this in the lesson video too, though, but really what would happen right now, technically, is if you squared both sides, you would actually end up, this is a binomial. You have two terms over here. You'd have to do something where you put both those binomials next to each other and you'd FOIL them out, and it'd be a little messier than what we can just kind of more quickly do is just, oops, it's not let me erase, of course, one of those times. It's not going to erase what I wrote there, but for whatever reason. But what you really want to do, guys, is add the second square root to the other side. Again, it's just a small step, but it just quickens our step a little bit for what we really are able to do in this problem. So you should actually write this as 21 minus x under the square root equals 1 minus x under the square root on the other side. Now, really, when you square both sides, it just works out that I can just drop the square roots and say this is 21 minus x equals 1 minus x. And then I can go ahead and keep solving here. And if I keep solving this one, actually, you're going to find something kind of interesting anyway. So I'm going to keep going on this one. Let's add x to both sides. And what do you know? Ooh, x's both cancel out. I'm left with 21 equals to 1, which we know is not true at all. So this problem also is one where I can say that there's no real solutions. There's no numbers I can put in for x that'll actually give me any kind of answer there. So, because when I tried to solve it, I tried the tricks that I knew, and none of them seemed to work. So no real solutions in this one either, just like the extraneous one we had above number 4 it was, okay? So again, something else to keep an eye on. Sometimes when you're checking for solutions, there aren't. We'll run into situations where there isn't a solution for that problem. That can happen. Okay, and just talking about these thinking questions on the back side, again, not going to go through too many of them, because again, sometimes it's just getting you thinking about what we're doing and getting your thoughts on there, so you can start kind of dissecting and making sense of this. And again, if your brain is frustrated at some of this stuff, good. Okay, that's what I want. Again, that's your brain working and trying to make sense of what you're learning, because you're learning something new here, okay? So if you're a little frustrated, that's that you're in the place where I want you to be, okay? Why do we need to check for extraneous solutions? We talked about in the lesson, and again, just kind of in your own words, what do you think? Why do we need to check for those? I've kind of given you a few examples, even like the problems in the front in the lesson, that show you maybe some reasons why, but I guess I want to hear it in your own words. What do you think? Why do we need to, just from what have you picked up on so far, that it's good to check for extraneous solutions when we're solving these types of equations, okay? Is this equation here a radical equation? Just kind of answering you there. And again, and if you haven't watched the lesson video, then you should watch that. That might help with that first question, or this question, if you're not sure what to do. And then this last one is kind of also shows a little bit of the extraneous solutions and what happens when we square both sides of an equation. So first part A, though, what you do is on Desmos, just graph the parent square root function, and then list 3 ordered pairs by looking at the graph, or even just by looking at the equation. You can probably figure out 3 solutions and list them here. So list some ordered pairs, 1, 2, 3. You know, you pick out some solutions. I think I'd look at the graph to do it, but you can also do it from here. Okay. Then what happens to part B is they take this equation and we square both sides, which would give us this, right? If I squared y, it'd give me y squared. If I take square root of x and square it, it'd give me just x, okay? So then you're going to maybe even mute this one temporarily on Desmos, and then you're going to graph this equation. Okay, and then it asks you to list some solutions that would work for this one, but not for the first one. Okay, so find some 3 ordered pairs that would be solutions to this one. And again, you're almost making a new equation, really, when you square things. That's what I'm trying to show you here in this particular problem. Then take your answers from part B, and in part C it says try them in the original equation. And what do you notice happens? Okay, and again, you should kind of see things like we've been putting together here, but again, just another way to show you that when you square both sides of an equation, it can work, it can get us answers, but you actually are changing the equation, okay? So questions like this are trying to help you see that. If you still need trouble, though, or you still have trouble and you need some help, please let me know, you guys. I will help you. Just whenever you reach out, I will definitely help you, but you just got to email or contact me. Let me know how it's going, okay? Good luck, you guys.